has it helped? Yeah, absolutely, because they could, educate themselves. I use this to help me then communicate, and that's the most important piece, right, is communication.
Just kind of starting out, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're at and how long you've been in real estate, I guess, to get started?
I had a career with IBM for 30 years, and I retired from IBM, and I was a consultant for about 10, and then I studied to be a real estate agent, and so happy that I've done it. So this is actually my second year.
Oh.
So the good thing is that I'm current with everything because there's lots of changes going on with real estate, and I just happen to be catching a wave of change. So it's been it's been terrific. The ride's been terrific,
right,
so far.
And where are you at again in the country?
Well, I'm in Canada. Actually in Vaughan, Toronto.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess tell me a little bit about how did you hear about us? I know we talked just prior to starting this that you saw us at NAR in San Francisco.
So I was meaning to create a listing presentation. I was struggling with how to do it. Not so much how as in content, but the presentation around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually went to the NAR conference in San Francisco last year because I was actually there to receive my CIPS designation. So there was a presentation ceremony. And I ran into you during the exhibit, and I fell in love with it, like your concept and the book right away, because it's exactly what I was thinking about. And I was like, what better way to do a presentation but through a book like this? Right. So I just fell in love with the concept. I fell in love with the idea and the fact that it's already pre-done as well, so that it's a good template to start with. So speed to market, perfect timing, and I just love the concept. So I started with you guys right away when I saw you.
Right. So you've been with us for a little bit less than a year now then, is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. How's everything been going so far?
Yeah, terrific. Actually, it was funny because I started my first deal. It was a house, $3.750 million deal that I started with. And they were asking me for my listing presentation. And I didn't have one at the time. So you obviously turned it around real quick. And so I wanted to thank you so much for that because, I didn't know where to start at that time when I had that listing. And so you were able to produce the book for me right away. And customer was delighted because it showed credibility for myself as well, right? In terms of knowing the space and being able to, put it in a book. And this is my book right here. So, it's been great.
So you got a 3.7, that was your first deal with the book? You said that turned it around?
Yes, it did.
Wow.
Your book did.
That's quite a start.
Because I had a listing presentation, informal, I kind of knew, but it wasn't what I really wanted to pull together. And so you did it at the right time. It just happened that you actually produced it and created it and delivered it to me at the perfect time. So it was perfect. Everything about it was perfect.
Right. What has, this listing, it helped you. What has been the reaction, just when you give that out as part of your listing presentation now?
Well, I'm not sure whether a lot of people are doing a book, but they're absolutely thrilled. I know I get a lot of people, like especially clients. So from a client perspective, they love it because they're able to pick up some tips and they think the presentation's good. Even the size of it is great instead of a big presentation. And just everybody, like even my family, like they just love it. They just think, wow, we've got a book. I'm also the chair of the library board. So the library from a library perspective. So I love books and I'm meaning to do a book signing at some point. I was asked to do that. I'm not sure I'll do that, but that's the kind of request I got. So This is great. When I have open houses, I actually put my book out as well. So because of COVID, you've got the masks, you've got the hand sanitizers, and I have my book right there. I also use it to distribute it electronically as well.
So you said you use these on your open houses. Tell me about kind of so do you have them out for people to pick up, or how do you do that?
So at the entrance, I mean, now that there's COVID, it's not working properly now because we're told not to do it and it's virtual. But if it's virtual, I actually have my book there too from a virtual open house.
Mm-hmm.
But physical, I'll have a basket and actually put my books there. So I ask them to sign in. I ask them to sign in the COVID form. I give them a mask and I give them my book. It's available to them, and plus the hand sanitizers. So it's right there at the entrance.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kind of backing up and talking about you were looking for a way to get a listing presentation in this. How much confidence does having a book like this give you when you are going into that listing presentation and meeting with a client or a potential
very
client?
confident. Yeah, very confident. Yeah. And again, I was looking for something unique instead of an actual presentation, PowerPoint presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't looking for anything to really promote myself. Other than providing content and information for prospective buyers and sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, actually, in the beginning, I do get the opportunity to talk about myself. So that was very good. So about me, my experiences and how I can help. So I thought that was very good, allowing me to do that piece. So that too, I mean, it didn't get into detail. It doesn't get into detail, and that's fine. If they want to get into detail, I'd be more than happy to take them through it. But it's that elevator pitch that you need to get to people right away. And I feel very confident just being very clear and concise in terms of my capabilities, my abilities, and providing them with content when we're moving forward. So right now I have the one for selling, but I'm dying to prepare one for buying. And I believe you also have newsletters,
mm-hmm.
as well as the presentation, listing presentations as well. So I do plan to do that when things get quiet, because right now it's been just a roller coaster ride for me since COVID. But I anticipate doing that shortly, is doing the rest of it so I can get, promoting those tools next year. But yeah, I look at it as a tool, mm-hmm. and I look at it as something that I feel very confident taking with me.
Right. Awesome. That's great to hear. We're so happy that you kind of stumbled upon us at the NAR event. That worked out great.
It's able to give me the elevator pitch that I need in order to have a client come to me and feel very confident that they're hiring somebody who's capable and competent. There's a lot involved when you're selling and when you're buying, and there's a checklist that one can create as well as content. And this book that was created helps take that content and put it in a very simple manner. So it helps with the deals because, they're able to reflect or even to look at certain things, like how to market your home. This is on chapter 8. I'm just giving an example of some of the content in here. Common seller mistakes. So things that they can reflect on that they would, how to and lessons learned that help as you're going through the sale and in the buying experience. So has it helped? Yeah, absolutely, because they could, educate themselves. I use this to help me then communicate, and that's the most important piece, right, is communication. Sometimes when you're saying something it may not comprehend, you have to say it 7 times. But having it in the book really makes it clear. So it has helped in the journey, and also in securing the deal.
And then just kind of wrapping up, how do you? I know you use the books on the open houses and you in the listing presentation. Mm-hmm. Are you getting the books to people prior to the listing appointment, or what's the kind of first step in the process?
I hand deliver it. So when I meet with the client, I give it to them personally. Some asked me to sign, so I'm absolutely thrilled about that. But so it's all in the personal. My preference would be to give it to them personally instead of just willy-nilly giving it to people, because it's a personal touch. I like to do that. Email, the one that's virtual, I've been giving out as part of the virtual tours. Mm-hmm. And as well through social media as well, and people who ask that I do it that way. I do want to get it in a bigger way. So I do want to reach out to you to discuss that piece of it, how to broadly get it out there. That would be the next step. But right now, it's been more the physical human touch and giving it personally.
Right. Well, awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your experience, and we're very glad to have you on as a member.
No, thank you. And again, thank you so much